Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. It's 2014 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 19-year-old Marissa Williams has just moved in with her aunt, Petra Williams, after getting out of juvenile detention. Marissa was a troubled teen and had spent her adolescent years bouncing around in the notoriously problematic US social services system after her mum passed away. It's unknown what her life was like during her time in the system, but she came out of it with a major rebellious streak. Petra took her in, hoping to bring some stability to Marissa's life. Petra was also determined to help Marissa get her life back on track, encouraging her to get her high school diploma while also teaching her manners and how to navigate the world. But Marissa struggled to stay focused on her studies and was obsessed with social media. Most of us probably spend a lot of time on social media too. So many aspects of our life now occur online: socializing, learning, shopping, entertainment, and banking. So it's incredibly important to stay safe and secure online. Surfshark VPN encrypts everything sent between you and the internet, keeping your identity safe and your valuable data protected from big companies and cyber criminals. Plus, you can mask your IP address, meaning you can hide your identity, location, and download history. Surfshark can also alert you if it detects a data breach involving your personal information. For instance, if a website or company gets hacked. We've also found Surfshark super helpful when we're doing research for our videos, as sometimes resources like articles and documentaries are geo-blocked. Here in Australia, we don't always get access to many docos that cover little-known cases and stories that we're interested in. Surfshark lets you change your virtual location so you can unblock content libraries and streaming services like Netflix from other countries. We were able to browse so much content that we had never heard of before, which will definitely help us come up with future video topics. Surfshark has over 3,200 servers in 100 countries and works across an unlimited number of devices as well. We're so excited and grateful that our first ever sponsor is Surfshark. Our code AMGlimpse will give you an extra 3 months of the service for free, so make sure you click the link in the description and grab this exclusive deal, surfshark.deals/AMGlimpse. We highly recommend giving Surfshark VPN a go so you can see for yourself how useful it is. Plus, they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk if you try it out. Marissa loved talking to boys on Facebook. She was constantly adding new guys and chatting them up even though she didn't know most of them in real life. Petra was concerned by not only the amount of time Marissa was spending on Facebook, but also the sort of guys she was attracting. Petra didn't want Marissa falling back into hanging out with the wrong crowd and potentially ending up back in prison. Petra would ask Marissa to put her phone down and focus on school, but her pleas were futile. They began to argue more and more. It seemed like all Marissa wanted to do was leave the house to meet boys, hang out with her friends, and attend parties, and nobody was going to stop her. At one point, Marissa informed Petra that she was meeting up with a much older guy who had recently gotten out of prison. Petra was understandably furious and tried her best to calmly reason with her niece, but nothing she said was getting through to Marissa. Petra was also appalled to see Marissa was flaunting her new fling on Facebook. When she confronted Marissa about the posts, Marissa simply blocked her, but Petra was resolute in her mission to keep Marissa safe, despite Marissa's attempts at keeping her out of her life. Petra decided to keep tabs on her niece where she was spending most of her time, on Facebook. Petra created a new profile under the name Trey Top Dog Ellis. She pulled some photos of a stranger and created a persona who was the opposite of the guys Marissa usually went for. Trey was a college student, he hadn't been to prison, and he wasn't interested in partying. She filled in the rest of the profile to make it seem convincing, then sent Marissa a friend request. Within a few hours, Marissa accepted. Petra had just catfished her own niece. Petra intended to only use the fake profile to keep tabs on her niece, so she was surprised when she received a DM. It was from Marissa. Petra initially ignored the advances, but then thought that it would be a good opportunity to understand what her niece was actually saying to these boys. So she responded with, "Hello, how are you?" However, Marissa kept trying to take the conversation down a flirtatious path. Petra ignored those messages and asked questions like, "Do you drink?" or "Do you do drugs?" To which Marissa would reply, "I'll do whatever." Petra was shocked at how forthcoming Marissa was with the total stranger. Marissa kept sending suggestive messages and asked Trey to come over, and told him that she had boys over all the time while her aunt was asleep. She even offered to have sex with Trey if he paid her $50 phone bill. Petra couldn't believe what she was reading. She decided to test whether her niece would actually follow through with inviting a total stranger to their home and agreed to a date as Trey. On the night of the supposed date, Petra sent Marissa messages like, "Are you sure about this?" and "I'm on my way." All the while at home, watching Marissa respond and check out the front door for the non-existent Trey. It was past midnight and Marissa was still outside walking up and down the street looking for Trey, assuring him that her aunt would be asleep. Before Trey, really her aunt, said he got lost and wouldn't be able to make it. The following morning, Marissa immediately started messaging Trey again, asking where he had gone the night before. When Trey told her her house was too far, Marissa suggested meeting up at her great-grandmother's home. Petra was extremely alarmed that her niece wanted to meet up with this stranger so badly that she would put her great-grandmother in harm's way. Petra wasn't ready to reveal that she was actually Trey this whole time, but she still sat Marissa down to reprimand her about walking around alone at night waiting for a boy. Petra grounded Marissa, but Marissa didn't handle discipline well. She smashed a glass in anger and stormed off. Their relationship was now more tense than ever. Marissa stopped talking to her aunt, but she was still messaging Trey. Marissa would vent to Trey about how she felt trapped and how her aunt was robbing her of her freedom. To Petra's horror, Marissa's sentiments towards her were growing more resentful and hateful. She would message Trey, "Fuck my auntie, fuck 'em all. I'm going fucking crazy. You gotta get me out of here." Trey, who was of course really Petra, would try and calm Marissa down and reason with her. But nothing was getting through to her. Marissa started to talk about how the only way she and Trey could see each other was if they killed her aunt. Marissa repeatedly expressed how she wanted her aunt killed as well as Petra's fiancé, her cousin, and the family dog. Petra knew this wasn't normal teenage angst or mood instability. Her niece knew real criminals who were definitely capable of murder, and she was becoming more and more withdrawn and angry. Marissa would describe to Trey exactly how someone could get into the house and gave precise instructions on how to sneak into her aunt's room. She would strategize, saying that the fiancé should be killed first, then her aunt, then finally the cousin and the dog. Petra was starting to fear for her life, but she kept up the ruse as Trey, trying to talk Marissa out of the plan. Marissa never once relented. She kept reiterating that she wanted her aunt dead so she could be free once and for all. Then, one day, Petra walked past Marissa's room to find that she had packed all her belongings into suitcases, ready to leave. That's when Petra decided to call the police. She had to explain the full situation to the police so they would take her seriously, and they eventually made their way to the house. Marissa had no idea why the police had shown up. She couldn't understand why they wanted to speak to her. The police asked if she was planning to have her aunt killed. Marissa said nothing. She was completely baffled. That's when the police revealed to her that Trey Top Dog Ellis was in fact her aunt Petra. Marissa was mortified. During questioning, Marissa admitted to the plot, but insisted that she never actually wanted anyone to get hurt. Marissa was arrested for solicitation of murder, a Class A offense, and was taken to Tuscaloosa County Jail on a $30,000 bond. Petra Williams struggles with immense guilt about deceiving her young niece, but believes that it was necessary to help her.
To think there are people that use these made-up personas to hurt people. It was necessary. It was a necessary evil. It was a necessary evil. That's the only way I can explain it.
Marissa was placed in a youth offending program, but managed to escape and was on the run for an unknown period of time. According to her current Facebook page, Marissa now has 2 children. She is not Facebook friends with her aunt Petra. Comment below your thoughts about this story. Do you think Marissa was serious about killing her aunt, and did she deserve to be arrested? Or do you think Petra failed Marissa by deceiving her when she was supposed to be a trustworthy adult family member to the troubled teenager? Don't forget to click the link in the description to get 3 extra months for free of Surfshark VPN.